Hi everybody. I'm trying to reduce the glare as much as possible, and it's not really working. When you have glasses on, all you see is glare. So I'm doing the Papa Smurf tribe for the owner's update, and we decided to do this so around this time teams get stuck into just looking at their own team or just checking the ESPN Fantasy Baseball app. So we decided this would be a good time to look at all the teams. And I think it's a good idea in order to connect back to Major League Baseball. It's hard to see other players on other teams when you're only stuck on your players on your team. So I started with Papa Smurf tribe, and going into the draft, I was really looking to repeat last year. Last year went really well. I think I certainly had the best draft I've ever had. Everybody but Jim Johnson, my closer, really turned out pretty well. And this year I knew it was going to be harder with 12 teams. There's just less talent to go around, but right off the bat I got Jose Abreu and Robinson Cano. And I was hoping to get one of them in the first round. I didn't think I'd get a chance to get both. Both are bulletproof players in my opinion. So I get Jose Abreu, who I've seen live at the All-Star game in Minneapolis. He is one of the strongest human beings I've ever seen. And Robinson Cano is always good, I thought. This year he's batting like 250 or something, and he's got to get it together. When I was doing the draft, pitching usually goes really early. I don't know if that's just our... But this was the third year in the row that we've limited the amount of points pitchers get. And the reason why you do that is because if one pitcher has a bad outing in your rotation, it's not going to tank your team for a week. So we've really tried to get away from the ESPN standard, which is so starting pitching heavy. So I thought pitchers in general were going to go much later in the draft this year. But second round, pick 13, Max Scherzer goes for Alex Swenson, and I think that was the first pitcher. And then, bam, 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 pitchers started to go really fast, especially Alex Swenson. And Andy always drafts pitchers early. Like, that's not a secret. But Alex was also up on it. I mean, he went Max Scherzer, Johnny Cueto, and Adam Wainwright. What, six of his 10 picks? So my first pitcher was Craig Kimbrell, which was interesting. But I was still drafting starting pitching up until towards the end when I got Derek Holland and Joe Nathan. That obviously was a waste. But so I'm coming out of the draft, I knew that starting pitching was going to be really difficult because I wasn't planning for the draft to go that quickly with starting pitching. After the draft, I was really worried about my outfield. I had Austin Jackson starting again. I feel like I have Austin Jackson every year. I was really nervous about Todd Frazier. I think he's grossly overperforming. He's not overrated because he's performing as well as he's rated as well as he's performing. But the way his bat goes through the strike zone, his bat only hits the strike zone, is only on the same level as the ball when he makes contact. So if his timing is off at all, he's going to have a real big issue. Right now he's hitting home runs like it's nobody's business. He doesn't have a great average, but that's fine. I'm just nervous that if his timing becomes just a little off, his bat doesn't go through the strike zone very much. So that was a concern. I compared myself a lot to David and Garrett and Spencer, who are in my division, so that's natural. I don't usually pay attention to the new owners. I really compare myself to Alex Swenson. Alex Swenson usually does better than me, so if I'm doing better than Alex, then usually I'm doing it okay. And Pete Marsnick 2 years ago did really well. And I think he drafts really well. So I usually follow myself after Alex Renson and Pete. Alex, I thought, had a really good team, especially pitching-wise. Spencer had a good team. I thought David and Garrett had the 2 best drafts. But I didn't feel that anybody knocked it out of the park like Andy did last year or other teams have in the past. So the first 5 matchups come in, and I win the first 3, which are all interdivision. So Spencer, David, and Garrett, I won. So I was the only 3-0 in my division, so I was sitting pretty. The next 3 I would lose against interdivision because our division went back into interdivision games. So then I'm 3-3 and in the middle of the pack, and I was averaging 280 during the 3-game winning streak and the 3-game losing streak. So I just felt like people were going to be scoring higher than that all year. We redo or tweak the scoring every year, so to find the average of what teams are competing at isn't really clear right off the bat. So then I go into game 7 against Spencer, and I win with a $1.97 score, and I'm panicked. I finally get off my 3-game losing streak, which felt like an eternity, and I know a lot of teams are currently going through longer losing streaks than 3 games. I had a team that went 2-12, so I get long losing streaks, but any losing streak over 2 games is really excruciating. So I won against Spencer with 197 score, and I have to go against Lizzie. And Lizzie last year almost made the playoffs. So I was pretty nervous that I wasn't going to win. I'm going to be under 500. And usually if I get under 500, I'm staying under 500. It's just the way that goes sometimes. But we started to get it together. My division is really, really excellent. There's only 2 teams over 500, but 4 owners who check their fantasy almost daily and always making trades, almost making transactions. I feel like this year there's no lead big enough, at least in our division, that you can be safe during. So after that, 3, 5, 7 games early in the year, the main issue was starting pitching. John Lester started late, but he always starts slow, so I wasn't super worried. But Craig Kimbrell isn't getting save opportunities and isn't converting them when they are opportunities. But we're doing well. JD Martinez is as good as advertised. I think I had an offer. I think I had an offer for Prince Fielder earlier in the year that I should have taken. I mean, the Prince Fielder that's playing right now is the Prince Fielder that's who he is. He's not a 250 hitter. He's an over 300 hitter. He hits it like nobody. He isn't on the DL. He's that good. Looking forward, right now I'm currently in a 4-game winning streak. This week against Gage has been odd. And then I've got Andy, who is one of the best. He's excellent at fantasy. Then a lot of intra-division. So, those are crucial. You have to win them. So the standings can change really quickly. We have a lot of intra-division games left. My rival is Spencer, who's 5-8. 3-3 in his last 6. And I think, he's got a good team. And he definitely knows when he is going to pay more attention to fantasy to win So we'll see how, I think I play him 2 more times, how that goes. The playoffs, we've got 6 teams in the playoffs. So hopefully that will produce good matchups towards the end. I mean, last year was an excellent example of, I think last 2 years we've had good luck with teams coming down to the wire. But I think suggestions for next year, if there's a team under 500 that makes the playoffs, someone's 10 and 11 or something, we're going to have to look at it. I think there's only 19 weeks, so that's not what their score would be, but we'd have to look at it. I'm really against teams under 500 making the playoffs. My big thing is the playoffs and the championship prize, upping those, but then you have to figure out how you pay for those and how much money do people want to pay to be in a league. I also want to do something for a draft. I don't like the manual draft, and it's error prone, especially if I do it. So, but it'd be nice to go to like a casino, just say, hey, all of us are meeting at a casino. If you want to join, and then like get a table for an hour somewhere, like reserve it in the casino and do the draft online. And those who aren't at the casino can still do it online or auto draft. And that would be fun. It'd be free in the league. You'd gamble, but it wouldn't cost anything. We wouldn't make any fees to pay for that. So that's my big 2 things is not having people under 500 make the playoffs and doing something to increase the playoffs, the champion prize, or other events like having a draft party. I mean, football draft parties are huge, so it'd be interesting if we could tap into that. That was kind of a deterrent, but the All-Star break's coming up. It does start on Monday. It's going to be an extended week, so maybe it's just regular week. I think it's regular week. So lock in on Monday. You're going to think that you're going to re-lock in after the break, but no, it continues that Monday to Sunday with that break in the middle. So there won't be 2 locks. The trade deadline is in early August, so hopefully we will pump through that. The keeper league, I'm still not sure about. We have 4 people saying 0, which is the mode of that. But then the majority of the teams say they want some form of keeper league. So I haven't quite been sure how to do it. We may push it off till next year because we did it after the draft, which might change the way people draft. So we'll see. Other than that, at the end of the year, you will get a Survey Monkey of about 10 questions that asks your input on what to do next year and in future leagues and what has changed from last year to this year and if we should keep it. If there's any suggestions at all, add them and we will make note of that. We may send out another Survey Monkey once I get all these suggestions. Spencer, Alex, and I usually sit down towards the end of the year and think about what needs to be changed. Alex and I usually do owners. If anyone has any new owners, we're not going to go over 12 owners, but we always like to have referrals. Or something else, just let me know. Spencer and I usually do the scoring around February. Any suggestions at all? I hope everyone has a good All-Star game. Albert Pujols in the home run derby. That guy is something. Wow. It's amazing that we get to see him be good again. And yes, I am wearing a Mickey Mouse sweater. So have a good All-Star break. And I hope to see everybody's podcast soon.